Okay, so the other thing when we look at graphs is domain, range. How do you get them from a graph instead of algebraically now? And finding points. So, let's pretend it's easier to show this with an example. Well, first of all, we know domain is what? X values you can put in the equation. What do you think range would be?
Y values.
Good. The y values you get out. So with that in mind, let's say we look at a problem. It's like example 23 in your book. So it's number 23 on page 167. So it gives you a graph and it asks you to do a few different things from the graph. So the graph looks like this. And then it asks you to do some things. So first it asks you to find, it tells you this graph is h of x. And then first it says, okay, what's h of negative 2? How do you find h of negative 2? Are you looking for an x value or a y value?
Y.
You're looking for a y value. What is the x value here? The x value is negative 2. So what do? You go out to the x value, negative 2, and you go up to where the y value would be. And that would be approximately, in this example, it'd be 2. So h of 2 is 2. Or h of negative 2 is 2. If I plugged in h of 0, the x value is now what? 0. And so my y value is negative 1. So I write negative 1. Because at 0, my graph is at negative 1. H of 3 would be, go out to 1, 2, 3. Where is this point? It's at what? 4. So the y value is 4. So if they ask you to find points on a graph, you have to find the x value and then trace it to find the y value. The last thing it asks you to do is find the domain and range when you're given a graph. Domain we just said was what values? X values, right? So what's the smallest x value here? Negative 3. And on the graph, what's the biggest x value? Positive 4. Are we going to use brackets or parentheses? Are these open or closed dots at the end? They're closed, so we use brackets. For range, now what values are we looking for? For range, we're looking for, it says right up here, y values. So now we're looking for y values. What's the smallest y value here? Negative 1. What's the biggest y value? 4. Brackets or parentheses? Brackets. Good. Because these are closed circles.
Can you always start with the least amount?
Always start with the smallest.